Hello, my name is Neil Potter with Improving Your Small Business, and today we'll discuss how to create a great company culture, 5 key attributes. So over the last 30 years, I have been doing what I call appraisals or assessments, and in those events, we ask people questions, and the very last one we ask each person is, what is the strength of your company? And this has been going on for quite a while, about 200 events, about 30 people per session, so 30 responses per session, roughly 6,000 responses. So I've taken that question and the responses and then organized it into 5 categories, these ones down here, to kind of show you what I think a really good culture is like and what people are going to do in companies that have a very good culture. So the first category we'll discuss in the data is work. So the question was, what do you like about the company, the strength of the company? And a lot of people in the 6,000 said they like their work. They find it interesting, there's a variety, and they have achievable goals. They're kind of set up for success versus kind of failure. So examples of that would be a new product or service. So if you have a chance, maybe consider adding a new variety to the kind of work you're providing or service. People like to get involved in that, create and then deploy and sell new things. If you're in a service or a business where you don't really have new things you're selling, you're accounting or fence building or fence fixing or a construction, and you don't really have a new thing to offer, people like newer tools and approaches. They like to discuss ways to optimize things or a new tool to kind of do things quicker or more accurately, or a new workflow. It could be a physical tool or a software tool or kind of a workflow, how you string things together. That kind of keeps the work interesting too. And it helps you as a company too, because you're getting a benefit of a more productivity or better quality. People like multiple roles. Maybe they're employed because they're very technical, but they don't want to stay there forever, or may not want to stay there forever. They want to try maybe sales. Maybe they're very good at sales and they can combine technical skill and a sales approach. Or maybe they are more outgoing and they like to organize, and therefore they do technical and project management. Or maybe they like to look at numbers and calculations and analysis, and they could do financial stuff too. And so you might consider within the company, are there other roles they could use for the company and going to learn a new skill. Work matches the interests. So ask the people, now what would you like to work on? Maybe they're employed for one thing, and maybe they want to stick with that one thing, which is great if they want to do that. Or maybe they actually do want to consider another area to look at. You don't really know until you ask the question, and you're going to get their response. This achievable goals one up here. A lot of people, when they're given deadlines that are unachievable, they have to work very extra hours, or they can't even achieve it in that deadline. They become demoralized, and the culture kind of goes downhill. So a part of the achievable goals is having the teams come up with good data, good estimate data. They're actually involved in looking at the likely labor or effort required to do something before they get committed to it. Or they look at what could go wrong or risk. They look at their availability or the team's availability. Are they working five days a week or 7 days a week or 4 weeks a month or whatever? How available are they given current commitments? Their capacity. How much work can they actually process in a period of time? And dependency is looking at other things that have to be complete or finished before they can do their thing. So getting the team involved in creating data, looking at the goal or the desire and adjusting the deadline or the budget or the scope or the way work is done to achieve that allows them to kind of have some buy-in and ownership over that and have achievable goals. Just giving people deadlines and budgets and whatever and saying just do it and make it going to work. That might work out a little bit. They don't really appreciate that. And if it doesn't work out, they become demoralized and your culture goes downhill. So the second category here was customers. The question was, what do you like about the company? And they said the way we treat customers, so customer focused and open and honest with customers, leads to trust. So if the company is seen kind of lying to customers or kind of covering things up or saying they won't notice or they won't care, or by the time they get it, they will have moved on and whatever, they'll forget about it. Any kind of negative approach like that, your employees notice and they don't like it. Okay? They really appreciate when there's honesty and transparency, and if there are problems, they get to resolve them quickly with the customer. So that whole customer focus, people are going to really like. So examples here, the company builds a relationship with customers. They understand what their needs are, what their care abouts are, their priorities, what their budgets are, etc. And they kind of work with customers, ongoing to figure out kind of what to do to serve them. The company has a philosophy or a focus on no surprise. If there are surprises coming up, they're either resolved early on, or the customer's kind of warned about the surprise when it's kind of a baby step. It can be kind of addressed, or things could go bad or different than expected. They're told about at the very beginning. Bad news is shared early, and the company only promises what can be delivered. And so part of the being trustworthy or trusting or having a trusting open atmosphere is actually knowing what you can and cannot commit to and only committing to that. If you would like to commit to more, then obviously be more capable, improve efficiency or costs or whatever, so you can do more stuff. But just simply promising what you can't do to people, customers don't like it, obviously, and secondly, your employees notice, and they don't like that either. And so it's not complicated, but having good data, good experience of what can be done, helps people kind of feel like they're in a empowered and kind of trustworthy kind of environment. So the third category of the data to the question, what is the strength of the company, is atmosphere. It's a big one. Many examples here. Open, trust, kind, personable, caring, flexible, and positive. This is created by the ownership or leadership of the company, management team. It's also helped by the employees. So being very careful of the kind of people you employ is key to this. You can have one bad apple you employ, and you can destroy this overnight. Okay, so the companies that I'm discussing here are very, very, very careful about how they employ people, how they interview them, and going to check their kind of style before they add them to the team. Open door policy, flexible leadership. So the employees can speak to the management team whenever they want to. They're available, and therefore, you can have issues resolved and kind of chit chat about ideas. Very flexible leadership. So if you have a suggestion, a comment, a critique or something that is taken seriously by management and kind of acted upon or discussed. Commitment by involvement. So the management or ownership owners are going to know that if they want their people to be committed to the company, they involve them in decisions, solutioning of things, problems being resolved, and planning for the future. People are involved, and when they're involved, they become committed. Okay, so part of the culture is being committed. Opinions are valued. Could be through improvement suggestions. There could be a systematic way to actually come up with ideas through a web page or a kind of email system or whatever. That could be looked at every month, so employees feel like they can actually have an idea and be taken seriously. That can be prioritized and maybe acted upon. Involved, like the first one up here, and maybe even the employee stock ownership. This is more of a legal financial issue, but some companies actually have an ESOP, so there is actually a share of the company you own, and when there are benefits or profits, they actually are shared. And by doing that, people kind of feel like they really do have a say in where the company runs, and they're very careful to manage the company correctly because of their kind of share in that part of the company. Focus on teamwork, coffee and snacks. Quite a few companies I work with, the big boss will actually ask the question, what do people like? For example, latte machine, a coffee machine, not like a Krups kind of thing, like push a little lever. I mean a fancy latte machine. I had one company in Huntsville, Alabama, where it was a very, very fancy machine, and the CFO and CEO, husband and wife, they would go out in the morning, buy the special milk, and there was actually special milk and special coffee. They would bring it in, they would load up the machine for the day to kind of show they cared, and they actually did really care. and people would have awesome, like better than Starbucks coffee all day long. Snacks. So again, people would be asked the question, what do you like? Is it healthy, non-healthy, chocolate, not chocolate, special, whatever? And there'll be snacks provided too. These are not that expensive to do, but they have a tremendous impact on the way the company kind of is treated and how they're going to see the culture. Flexible work hours may be just enough to deal with rush hours and drop-offs and babysitting and daycare and that kind of stuff. People appreciate that. Flat organization. Now, flat organization would mean the boss is here and the people are there, okay? And people can access the boss. A non-flat organization would be the boss is here, the sub-boss is here, the middle boss is there, the junior boss is there, and the people that do the work are there, okay? And the people doing the work are thinking, there are far more bosses than people doing the work. What do these people do, okay? We have no idea what they do. They feel important. And so that is seen pretty quickly by the employees. It's like, no, the only way to proceed here is to become a boss and do nothing or do less. And so people really appreciate the flat organization there. Are allowed to do the job without being micromanaged. So they are trained, educated, skilled, mentored in the job, and then allowed to do the job. Okay? Versus the big boss saying, well, every day, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Are we there yet? No, that becomes tiring. So a really good organization is where they train their staff to do the job correctly, maybe mentor them for a period of time, and then when they are kind of qualified or capable, they're allowed to do the job. They can report back on progress, but they're not micromanaged. So the third category of the responses to the question, what is the strength of the company, is benefits. Okay, again, you can vary this given your budget and financial constraints. The first one is kind of free, valued as employees and taken care of. That can be kind of based on the previous examples. It could be an employment plan for retirement, like either SEP or 401k, two different structures there. It could be health benefits. It could be employee appreciation events, where you really are recognizing people or teams for kind of what they did, above and beyond for the month. People like that too. It doesn't have to cost them much of anything. Good facilities, clean. The bathrooms actually function correctly. Leakages are fixed. Outlets are fixed. They actually work. Wi-Fi actually works. There are wide internet if you need wide internet. Some basic things are in place and they function correctly. We had a company a long time ago in the Dallas area where they wouldn't buy the employees good chairs, and people were complaining about their ripped clothing because of their terrible chairs. Totally ridiculous. Buy some chairs, okay? Buy some second-hand chairs, fix the chairs. It basically showed that the management team didn't really care. They cared about themselves and not anybody else. And that was, if you think you're going to get away with that, I can guarantee you the employees will notice in a heartbeat, okay, about whether they are cared for or not, okay? You can't get away with that. It doesn't work. They know. And if they know and it's not being fixed, they might leave, okay? And therefore work doesn't get done. Education budget. So sometimes there is a book budget, which is inexpensive, or there's a online budget for online courses, or there's a physical training budget, or maybe an education budget for doing degrees, at one end. But think kind of small. It could be book budget or online budget, where people are actually encouraged to learn new things for the company, like learning a language, or learning accounting, or learning how to use a tool like Excel, or another system. And so an education budget's going to learn things given the desire of the employee and the need of the company. People really appreciate that. They actually like to learn things so they can be more productive, and therefore you benefit from that. So the next category to the question, what is the strength of the company, is opportunities. People like to kind of have choices about growth and the job they're going to do. So it could be personal growth, both technical and managerial. And so learning either new skills or how to organize or schedule or track or supervise. You might have people that are employed one way or one thing, and they have a particular skill set to kind of learn other things very quickly, and they should enjoy that. Maybe a career growth, maybe they do want to become a supervisor. Maybe they're good at that. They want to become a leader, a manager, organizer, or an accounts kind of person. There could be new roles, new responsibilities. In the idea about skills, often employers think if you buy new skills for people, like training activities, then the employer will then leave and earn more money because they have a better resume now. But actually, if you actually provide skills to them through financial budgets and whatever, they actually know you care about them, okay? And because you care about them, they want to stay. And so it's kind of a counterintuitive. You've got to try to employ people and skill them correctly, showing you care about them as a person, and they're going to then want to stay. Versus you thinking the exact opposite is going to occur. It may occur, people may leave, but if you're a good employer and you provide good enough benefits compared to your competitors, and you look after your employees, they actually may want to stay there for a long time. So I've been through 5 categories of things you could do to improve culture. We have atmosphere and examples, opportunities, benefits, customer focus, and work enjoyment. I would say you can come up with your own examples pretty easily from our list here. I would think your next steps would be look at the organization, look at the opportunities and challenges you've had up to now. Where could you actually leverage? Ask the people what they would like. Don't guess, don't assume, don't tell them. Ask them, okay? It's part of the caring. Actually ask them what would they like to kind of do, or learn, or try out, okay? Get their input. Set some priorities. Tell them and work with them on priorities. You don't have an infinite budget or an infinite amount of time, but you do have some time and some budget, and therefore you can help them figure out the priority of that. Take action. If you ask the question here and you don't do anything, then they'll know in a heartbeat. So take action, take some action, do something, okay? They want to see you take action, any kind of action, okay? So taking action is part of you caring or showing you care. And then maybe try it for a month, 2 weeks, and then ask for feedback. Okay? You can even tell them you're going to try a new program. It's called the ABC program, make up a word. Try it for a month, tell them it may fail, it may go great, we have no idea, we're part of a team, we'll try something, and then after a month we'll then kind of check back and see how it went, okay? And then going to get their input and feedback on how well it went, okay? They feel therefore cared about. They feel like you care about their opinion, and they're on the same team now. If it does fail, okay, it failed, okay? So try something different, but get their involvement, their input for the new idea. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you found some ideas in here useful. Please put a comment or question down below. If you like these kind of videos and articles, please subscribe to the channel too. Go to the website. There are articles up there in addition. I put articles up there all the time, and links to the videos too. I am a small business. If you want to contact me, please go to our contact page and send me a message. If you actually would like assistance, I am a small business. I provide service. I really do, like you do. So please feel free to reach out. If I can help you, I'll do so. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.